So the secret book of Enoch tells how angels brought astrology and weapons to humans. Also makeup, but it talks about hell and Satan and all kinds of really interesting things, but it's not in the Bible. Why is that? Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm a deep skeptic, also a pastor. Okay, so let's talk about the book of Enoch. I get this question all the time. It's a really interesting book, and it's not secret. It's also not hidden. It's very well known, and part of the reason it's well known is because there's one part of Christianity, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, that considers it to be part of their scriptures. And if you were to get one of their copies of the Bible, you would find Enoch in their copy of the Bible. We'll get to why it's not in the other copies in just a second. So first things first, Enoch is a collection of a bunch of different books that were written over a long time. They were written between 300 BC and the 1st century CE, so about 400 years, and it's a collection. They're all sort of put together in order in the book of Enoch. And when you look at it, what is really clear about it is, well, first off, it's just not historical. And listen, a lot of the Bible is not historical in the modern sense of the word. For example, the part about Noah in the book of Genesis, which is an important part for the book of Enoch, that's definitely not a literal history in the way that we think of history. But Enoch is like one step further removed in that, one of the scholars that I really appreciate, Dan McClellan, blessed be his name, he says that it's like fan fiction, and I think that's a really great way to put it, because what it does is it takes the story of Noah and it riffs on it. It gives some more color, some more like insight, and you know, exactly like fan fiction does. And that's really what Enoch is doing, and it's trying to give religious insight and all kinds of really important instruction by riffing on the Noah story and some other stories. But it is an actually important text because even though it's not particularly historical, it does have this very significant influence in the early movement of Christianity and in that sort of late Judaism. It was very well regarded to the point that it was one of the most commonly found texts when they discovered the text in the Dead Sea Scrolls, which just really indicates its influence at that early part of the development of Christianity. And it's even quoted in the book of Jude. Like the concepts of hell and Satan are very much pulled from this Enochic tradition when it is in the New Testament. And when you hear Jesus use the term the Son of Man, that's also pulled from this Enochic tradition. So why isn't it in most Christians' Bibles? Well, at the time that the Bible, the canon was really being honed down, after the 400s, there were some problems that existed with the book of Enoch. One of the problems was it was very internally inconsistent. And I know there's a lot of internal inconsistencies in the Bible, but often there's not internal inconsistencies within books themselves, and that happens a lot in the book of Enoch. The other problem with the book of Enoch is the way it is written. It really would have had to survive the flood, since before the flood, right? It had to be really old, and most of the scholars that were dealing with trying to understand what books went in the Bible said that's just not plausible. Like, it's very, very unlikely that that's accurate, which means it's interesting, it's instructive, but it really shouldn't be in the canon. I mean, but Jeremy, didn't you just say that it was kind of in one of the canons? Yes, I did. That's the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. The reason that it's in there is Syrian missionaries actually took it with them as part of the Septuagint when they came to talk about God in that area of the world. And that was before it was sort of removed and regarded as less than stellar for a sacred text to be part of the Bible. And it stuck. It stuck there. And it's been an important part of their their belief system and the way that they understand God. But let's be clear, it says a whole lot of things about God. It was a text that was drawn on by the New Testament and some of the stuff that led up to the New Testament. It's a really old spiritual text that has been regarded by lots and lots of people as really helpful and supportive. And so I think what I want to say is read it. Read it. Like, go find it. You can find some really good translations of it online. Read it and see what you think. Now, but it's like reading a lot of spiritual texts, a lot of texts in the Bible. Don't take it literally. Like, it wasn't that angels slept with humans and created the giants who created the Nephilim, who created this other race. Like, that's not the goal of it. The goal is not to give you a history of this sort of angels giving all this stuff, but it does have some really great deep meanings if you will read it deeply and not read it like a conspiracy theorist, because the conspiracy theorists really love the book of Enoch. And that may be the most disappointing thing. There wasn't a conspiracy to remove it from the Bible. There was like some legitimate reason. There wasn't some cabal of influential Roman, priests or any of that kind of stuff. That's not what happened. And yet at the end of the day, it's still widely regarded. It's not secret. It's not hidden. It wasn't removed from the Bible. But it is weird and cool, kind of like fan fiction. And you should read it and see what you might find of God in there.